Boxing is becoming extremely weird, confusing, and we wonder why it becomes harder to grow. Now, I know you guys seen the title of this video, Devin Haney fighting Ryan Garcia. It's a great fight. Do you want to know if Haney versus Garcia is on pay-per-view? A lot of people have that question. Stay tuned to this end of this video, and I'm going to break it down. The information that I have. Now, you can choose to believe me. My name is Ego. I've been covering boxing over 10 years. It's really easy work. I love this sport, and I strive to give you guys accurate, reliable information. Now, I know the burning question, is the fight on pay-per-view? Yes. The simple answer is yes. To my knowledge, the Haney-Garcia fight will be on pay-per-view, and I'll prove it and explain in this video why that is the case. A lot of people are very confused right now in boxing in general. You have a ton of videos where they're clickbaiting. The titles aren't accurate to anything going on in the sport of boxing. You have people who are making and curating content, doing 100% guesswork. Like, who is Canelo Alvarez fighting next? Who is Gervonta Davis fighting next? No official announcement. You have conflicting information, and that's what I started this video with. Boxing is getting weird. Boxing is definitely getting confusing. So hopefully I can shed some light, impart the knowledge that I have. And like I said, I'm the best in the business. I came into boxing and made it look pretty. You see the face, you see the skin, everything's smooth. So Haney Garcia, good fight. Different opinions on if it's going to be on pay-per-view, right? So there's some confusion, and I'm here to say that it's going to be on pay-per-view. The reason being because Devin Haney told me it was going to be on pay-per-view. Bro, look, so the day the fight was announced, which was the beginning of this month, February 9th, I was myself confused. Because the flyer, you guys see the flyer that they put out. This is the first flyer that they put out, right? And it didn't say DAZN pay-per-view, which I thought was a bit weird. And it was like, just sign. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I posted out this tweet. You guys see it. I said, wait, is Haney Garcia a pay-per-view fight? This was on February 9th. Wait, is Haney Garcia a pay-per-view fight? It doesn't really say it on the flyer, but it gotta be, right? Because to me, the salaries, the purses, which we'll get to in a second, #ego, it seems like a pay-per-view fight, right? Devin Haney responded, like he's seen this tweet or whatever, and he says, most definitely. Like, most definitely. That's what he said in response to me posting that tweet. So I don't know what information other people have, but I'm going to take what Devin Haney responded with when I asked a question earlier in the month, and we're going to take that as that's the law. I mean, why would he not know if his fight is on pay-per-view? Now, that's not to say the fight is on pay-per-view in every market, because DAZN, we know they got a global type of app where they got DAZN Austria. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, get down there. They're in Austria with Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? They're in Spain, they're in Italy, Japan, in different areas. So I don't think the fight will be pay-per-view, because for a lot of these various areas, the boxing may not even be the #1 sport in said region. In addition, if it happens in prime time in America, then that means it won't be prime time for other regions. Like, you see a lot of British fans, oh yeah, mate, you're slagging them, mate, right? And they got to stay up till like 2 and 3 in the morning to watch some of these boxing fights that are taking place in America, right? So I don't think it'll be pay-per-view in every region, but my channel, I'm in the Bay Area, Northern California, and I my number one demographic on YouTube, because YouTube tells you this. They have this thing called analytics, and I can see my number one market is the United States of America. Duh, I'm American. I'm based out of America. So yeah, that's my number one core audience. So that's who this video is to, because I have a lot of American fans and that's my number one audience. So in America, it's looking like pay-per-view. Now, this is what Devin Haney said, most definitely. I mean, you guys let me know in the comment section if there's another way that I should interpret this. We'll go over it one more time. I posted the flyer on Twitter when the fight first got announced. And this was circa the Super Bowl week when it got announced. Wait, is Haney Garcia a pay-per-view? It doesn't really say it on the flyer, but it gotta be, right? Devin Haney says most definitely. Again, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but I don't know of another way to interpret that. Most definitely. I mean, he's saying, what else could he, if the only question I asked was if the fight was on pay-per-view and Devin Haney said most definitely, then I'm assuming he would know about his own event. I don't know who's the A side. I was about to say he's the A side, but then there was a video, I believe, where Bill Haney did an interview and said Ryan's the A side. I don't know. But either way, he's the champion. Devin Haney's the champ. Fight is been announced, and he's saying most definitely. So I'm going to take what Devin Haney is saying. Now, I do understand confusion because Golden Boy, they just posted this second flyer. You know, looks cool. Devin and Ryan says this one counts as the throne. Says Golden Boy. And again, it says DAZN. It doesn't say anything about DAZN pay-per-view. It has the date, Haney Garcia, yada, 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 April 20th, super lightweight world champion. None of this stuff at the bottom. Devin Haney Promotions, Matchroom, Barclays, right? None of it says anything about pay-per-view. Very confusing to people who are speculating and spectating, which is why I'm making this video, because Devin Haney responded and he said the fight was on pay-per-view. But I can understand with it not actually illustrating on the graphic. I don't know why they would have their graphic designer put that. And then even in the description, it says Golden Boy is ready to settle a long brewing rivalry at the Barclays Center. So I made the video. Check out some of my other work showing you that this fight would take place in Brooklyn now. A lot of people thought. So listen, I said this in a previous video. I am the realest in the game of boxing. I give you fair, objective analysis. I guess that's the better way to say it. But that's just what it is. I'm literally the best in business. I love the fight. Have no problem with the fight. Me, I think both guys being from the West Coast, it makes sense to me to have put this on the West Coast. But I understand Canelo has that date for Cinco de Mayo. They got blackout dates. So whatever. It goes to the East Coast. No big deal. You know, it's just a different coast. We still get the fight. Cool. I want to say that despite me liking the fight, some of it seems a bit haphazard and not meticulously thought through, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because it seemed like it almost was prematurely announced, because they're talking about everything, all the information out, all the reports said it was going to be in Las Vegas. Come to find out, it's in Brooklyn. Fine. It's at the Barclays Center. Great venue. Been there many a times. But that's still confusing to the fans. I even had people who said that they bought round trip tickets to go to Vegas to see the fight, and then come the fight is not happening on the West Coast, happening on the East Coast. That is confusing. And then now with this pay-per-view shenanigans. Now, I haven't really looked through the comment section, but I guarantee you people are probably confused because the description, the caption doesn't say anything about if it's pay-per-view or not. You look at the flyer and that's not saying anything. And I think it should be more detailed. Let me look at the comments. Look, first comment, like clockwork. Mr. Gonzalez, pay-per-view. Look. And I guarantee you there's other people. When is the press conference? I mean, that part was announced. Rip to the queen. Why y'all be dogging Ryan like that? Why y'all be doing that? It's just, again, it's confusing. That's why I had to make this video, because again, I'm striving for accuracy and reliable information. The thing that doesn't make sense for the fight not to be pay-per-view, to be honest, because of the salary demands that I'm assuming from Ryan and also from Devin Haney. So it makes all the sense in the world for it to be pay-per-view. Devin said most definitely in response to my post. So in America, I'm assuming it's pay-per-view. I'm not even assuming, he said it. Like, he literally said it was going to be on pay-per-view. But for whatever reason, nobody is providing that clarity with DAZN, which is really weird. So I'm on DAZN and it says New York, New York, real Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Barclays Center, April 20th, live on DAZN worldwide. I mean, this is very confusing. So I don't know if the wires were crossed and then they've made the decision, because I've seen that where I think DAZN did that before, where they had a fight and initially it was reported that it was going to be on pay-per-view and then they said it wasn't going to be on pay-per-view. Devin puts, so someone said it's pay-per-view in the States. They're probably still deciding where else it makes sense from pay-per-view. See, people are just kind of so pumped. If this isn't pay-per-view, I might actually subscribe to DAZN for once. They got the Hasbulla. Let's go. See, again, people are confused. Let's go, no pay-per-view. That's why I'm making this video. Love the blue balling. Tell us if it's pay-per-view or not. How is this not pay-per-view? No pay-per-view, pay-per-view. So this is DAZN's own page. They got to get this stuff together. You've never seen this with PBC. Like Gervonta Davis, people are speculating, it's a rumor at this stage of me recording the video, if he's fighting Frank Martin. I've already gave my initial thoughts on that with Frank Martin. But one thing I've noticed, Top Rank and PBC, if they got a drop, they have a drop, and it's every piece of information is included. Like everything that you really need to know. And I really feel that they have to sharpen up a little bit, because this is a great fight, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. And you got people arguing, hey, no pay-per-view, let's go. And they happy saying it's not pay-per-view. But then I'm showing you the information on the screen and Devin was telling me that it was pay-per-view. So as it sits, for me, I'm assuming this is going to be on pay-per-view in America. Based on what Devin told me and based on my knowledge of boxing, it makes sense, because bigger fights, bigger stars, bigger guys, more on the line, usually that's a demand of you. Like, just here's another thing. The other thing that's really insane is to think that Ryan Garcia isn't on pay-per-view, but Devin Haney's last fight versus Regis Prograis was a pay-per-view with DAZN, right? So I would be almost shocked if the Devin Haney fight was on pay-per-view with Regis Prograis, but this new fight is not on pay-per-view. You know, even though I went to the fight, I went to Haney Prograis, so I didn't have to pay for the pay-per-view. So at the end of the day, I would be shocked, because how would you put the Prograis fight and make that a pay-per-view, but then not put Ryan Garcia, which is a bigger fight, bigger name brands, and here's for the proof for you guys. Devin Haney flyer, it says DAZN pay-per-view. So this was Haney Prograis, and again, it does make sense to just illustrate somewhere on the flyer that it is pay-per-view. DAZN pay-per-view, Haney Prograis. So I really wish DAZN would have done that and kind of got their chips in a row, because you've got a lot of people who think the fight's going to be free in their region because of the posts like this, but I don't think it's going to be. That's my honest opinion, which is why I'm now making this video. So still a great fight. I was prepared to pay for the pay-per-view. I never thought it was going to be free, but there's going to be some people who I think are disappointed. Again, I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. Should any of this information change, like if they decided to not put it on pay-per-view and I put out the information, per usual, I come back and correct it. There's a lot of content creators that'll put out bad information, misinformation, lies, clickbait, and then when they're proven wrong, they just move on to something else. I don't do that. So all my information leads me to believe this fight is a pay-per-view. So be prepared to pay for it on pay-per-view or go see it live at the Barclays Center in New York. I will, of course, update you no matter what the final outcome is. But hopefully DAZN clarifies this. Golden Boy clarifies this. I don't know if this is like a game. You know, the only way I could see it not being on pay-per-view is if Devin Haney's numbers versus Prograis, you know, people said there was like 30 to 55,000 and they want to chance this and maybe get a bunch of subs, and their target is to get subscribers. So then maybe they don't put it on pay-per-view to hopefully get more subscriptions. I don't know, but we're going with this fight is pay-per-view until otherwise like proven wrong. It looks like a pay-per-view fight. That's generally how you get these mega fights and the fights that people want to see with two big names. So I'm rocking with pay-per-view. A lot of confusion. I had to make this video. If you're confused about boxing, that's your fault because you haven't subscribed to my channel. So subscribe for the best, you know, on the internet when it comes to boxing. Best in the business. And I'm out.